first-year creative writing student at QUT, having decided to settle in Brisbane after several years living and working abroad. Her time spent in the United Kingdom, Ireland and Canada often directly inspires her creative works, alongside a passion for exploring personal experience, history and sociology through fiction, non-fiction and poetry. So please give it up for Jess.
Hi, so this is a slightly condensed version of a piece of memoir called Sunset Exposure. I could feel the late afternoon sun turning the tips of my shoulders pink as I stared down at what could only be described as an outdoor festival taking place. There was a line of brightly coloured tents selling beach essentials from snacks to sarongs. I could hear the beat of a drum circle in the distance, and everywhere, hundreds of people dancing, laughing, swimming, or gathered in groups. The scene was awash with the golden glow of summer, yet I could feel the seed of anxiety sitting in my stomach. I took a deep breath and reminded myself that I hadn't moved halfway around the world to sit at home on Canada's biggest national holiday of the year. I needed to push through my comfort zone, and so here I was, help me now. If there's one thing Canadians do well, it's long weekends, and we were in for a real treat this month, because July's long weekend was in honour of Canada Day itself. I've been living in Vancouver for almost 5 months, having trudged through the unexpected snowfall of winter, found my feet in the spring, and was now hoping to take on the summer. My friend Dan called me. "What are you doing for Canada Day?" "No plans," I replied. "Some mates and I are heading to Wreck Beach. You should come, hang out with some Canadians." I could hear the smile in his voice. I'd heard rumours about Wreck Beach, and a trickle of panic slid down my spine. I trusted Dan though, and he was right. It seemed only appropriate to celebrate the day with locals, so I quickly agreed to catch up with them later that afternoon. It took almost an hour's bus ride to get to the University of British Columbia, and from there I'd have a 20-minute walk to reach the beach that was nestled at the bottom of the bluff the university sat upon. I spent the journey thinking of all the things I'd heard muttered about Wreck Beach, often said with a sly smile or a wink. I suddenly felt desperately nervous. As I got off the bus, a text came through from Dan. "I'll meet you at the bottom of the stairs. Also, just a heads up on some of my friends. Don't be alarmed." I read it through twice, my heart beating faster as I set off through the UBC campus. A steady trickle of people seemed to be heading in the same direction, no doubt hoping to catch the grand finale like I was. It was only a couple of hours away from sunset. Finally, I found the stairs winding their way down through the forest towards the beach and began the steep descent. People coming back up in the opposite direction panted with the effort of the climb, many taking a break every few meters. I caught the taste of fear in my mouth as I wondered how the hell I was going to make it back up myself. It also occurred to me that once you got to Wreck Beach, there was certainly no easy way out again, no way to leave in a hurry. My skin crawled with anxiety at the thought, and I started to feel sick, telling myself that I shouldn't have come after all. But I was now at the final flight of steps, and it was too late to turn back. My knees were visibly shaking with the unnatural pressure of walking down a few hundred stairs at an almost vertical angle. So I stopped to catch my breath, hoping to gain some sort of composure before meeting Dan. I glanced at a notice board to my right, stating the rules. No photographs without permission, no gawking at others, take your trash with you. Looking down to my left, that was when I first saw it. The magical mass of naked bodies glowing in the sunshine, scattered everywhere across Wreck Beach. Perhaps the world's biggest celebration of naturists, all gathered together for Canada Day. The carnival atmosphere was an undercurrent to the uninhibited freedom of minds and bodies in a time and place without judgment. These people, I thought, looked as though they had left the world behind and founded their own utopia. Slowly, I began to feel the knot in my stomach untangle itself. Dan was waiting for me at the bottom of the stairs, a huge smile on his face. "Welcome to Wreck Beach." "This is amazing," I grinned. We headed away from the crowd, walking around a curve in the coastline to a quieter stretch of the beach, although it was still dotted with a number of individuals and groups who set up camp for the afternoon. It took me a while to figure out how to compose myself amongst all this nakedness. Eventually, though, I realized that the number one rule was this: do your own thing. Just don't be rude or ruin someone else's good time. Wreck Beach was a sacred space for everyone, whether you chose to wear your birthday suit or remain fully clothed as Dan and I did. Surely this was some kind of paradise. Every breath like another release from reality. I felt myself becoming untethered, but I wasn't afraid. Hey, are you ready? It's almost time. It was Dan. The sun was hovering just above the horizon now, and the water was liquid gold, shot through with streaks of red and purple. Silhouettes of bodies stood along the shoreline, gentle waves lapping at their feet, sand sticking to naked limbs. The drum circle had silenced, conversation had ceased, and everyone had turned towards the west, faces uplifted in awe and expectation, like pilgrims who had come to worship at the temple of their gods. As the sun hit the line of the horizon and began to flatten, the tension in the air was palpable. We held a collective breath, and as the sun finally ducked her head below the horizon, the entire beach erupted into applause, wolf whistles, and cheers. Here we all were, worshipping the goddess of the sun in our temple, the open-air brilliance of Mother Nature herself. The water was a perfect mirror, so that during those precious few minutes, earth and sky were as one, colours and textures blending into each other. This was Wreck Beach, but we were far from stranded, except to be captured by the beauty of the setting sun. I had never felt so at peace than I did in that moment, in a foreign country, amongst a crowd of strangers. As we made the steep ascent back up the stairs to reality, I glanced down at my sun-blushed skin, while my legs protested against me. As I wheeled them onwards, upwards, the journey even more precarious now in the half-light. But it was worth every single step to have witnessed that otherworldly sunset, to have sand caught in my shoes and know that I had been set free, having somehow managed to leave my anxiety behind on a nudist beach in Canada. Thank you.